Well, hello everyone and welcome back. I have no idea how long it's been. It's been at least months, right? Probably like 6 months or something.
It would have been the end of September, EliteAri.
Really?
Around then,
yeah,
yeah.
something like that. And I guess back then it was me and Bacon. We did the final discussion for the final, I don't know, episode or two. But I'm today joined without Bacon, who couldn't make it and is also busy for the next few weeks, so he's probably not going to be here for the next one either. And I'm here with Kai Entertainment.
I was clapping for Bacon's absence, not for myself. I'm not vain like that, EliteAri.
Yep.
Here we are to speak about Mushoku Tensei. That mid-shiru pedo say joke is a little overplayed, EliteAri, so I decided, in my trepidation there, not to say it. Now, this is obviously Season 4, Episodes 1 and 2.
It would be, well, Kyle thought that this was Season 3, Episodes 1 and 2, and he did message me. He's like, Ari, where are these episodes? Is it not on Crunchyroll?
No. Let's do this bit again. Okay. This is obviously Season 4, Episode 1 and 2. You say no.
No, it's not. I don't understand the joke.
Oh my god, EliteAri. Then I was going to say, it's obviously Season 3, Episode 1 and 2.
Yes,
then you go no again. And then and then I would have finally said it's Season 2, Episode 1 and 2.
And then I would say, no, it's Season 2,
That's
Episode
even funny for a different
13
reason.
and 14. Those are the two episodes we're covering. For anyone who's like catching up randomly now and you've never watched any of our previous episodes, I have read the light novel. I'm very familiar. I made scripted videos about it on EliteAri. Kai Entertainment is watching through for the first time. So yeah, let's get
I'm
into
smart.
it.
I hate source material. I actually read the manga, EliteAri, the superior version, as everybody tells me.
You know what? You probably would prefer the manga because it has a lot more comedy in it, is what I hear. So
true. I love slapstick comedy.
Yep. So Kyle, what do you think about these episodes? What are your overall thoughts?
All right, EliteAri, we'll do this bit again too. You're going to ask me what I think about the last two episodes I wasn't here to speak about.
Yes, okay. So for the last two episodes of Season 2, Part 1, what did you think about
Let me tell you something, EliteAri. I went back today. I was watching Mushoku Tensei. In fact, I clicked on it on Crunchyroll. Then I realized I canceled my Crunchyroll subscription probably in September last year sometime. So I had to pay for Crunchyroll again. So that's no good. Already down the dumps. Then then we have our funny interaction where I'm like, EliteAri, you moron. Crunchyroll doesn't have Season 3 and I just paid for it. I'm going to kill you. And that's when I realized, oh no, this is Season 2, Part 2. Because anime is lame and for dweebs. So then I'm like, me and EliteAri had a conversation I don't know in the past, probably in the past month, probably the past 2 weeks even. I was like, oh, I can't wait for Sylphie and Rudius's adventures, EliteAri, because at the end of the last season, they totally said they were leaving and going on a little adventure. And then EliteAri said, you know how it goes, he said, did they? Obviously meaning they didn't. And so I'm like, oh, I don't remember these silly episodes. So, EliteAri, I did my due diligence. I went back and I skimmed through episodes 11 and 12, the episodes I wasn't here to review.
Well done.
And by skim through, I mean I looked through the little timeline thing and I'm like, oh yeah, a scene where Sylphie's talking to the princess and the other dickhead. I'm like, oh, I don't need to watch this. That's boring. Skip. They probably talk about, oh, you can tell Rudy? And then I skipped to watching the Rudy one. And then I was like, oh yeah, they don't have sex in the cave, Lamau. And I click on the next episode, and then I'm like, oh, they have it in the bed, and then he can't do it, and then I'm all caught up, EliteAri. So I did my due diligence, and I'd like to say those episodes were probably as good as the other episodes last season. Isn't that incredible? Not as good as the greatest episode of all time, obviously, Nanahoshi Turning Point Part 3.
Wait, that was your favorite one from last season?
Of course, it was my favorite one, my favorite one ever.
Yep, very good. I guess I don't know how much you know about this actually, Kyle, but as far as I understand, that episode was either directed or storyboarded by the series director for Season 2, who has changed now. There's a new director for this season, which is certainly an interesting change mid-cool between an anime, but yeah. I don't know what episode that was.
We're in production turmoil, and that's why these episodes were so terrible. But we're not up to that yet. Are we? Maybe we are. Anyway, I remember listening to Ari and Bacon talk about those episodes. They were very boring last time without me. You know, that's how it goes. And there was no Nanahoshi, my favorite character, obviously. So that shit sucked.
Yep. But what about these episodes, Kyle?
Hold on, EliteAri. Do they have anything else to say about that? No, probably not. Maybe we are moving on to these episodes. And importantly, EliteAri, they are not going off on an adventure. Now we
Yes,
would
they
learn
are.
that in these next episodes too. Now, later we start these episodes off. We're reintroducing all the characters, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember these cat girls. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's the rapist dude's brother, and he's very strong and stuff. And
Yep,
they said
true.
that he's a birth child. That means
A
something. I
blessed
remember
child,
that.
yes.
Blessed child. That's what did I say?
A birth child or something?
Yes, that's the lucky ones that get to live. You know,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they're unbirthed child.
Very true.
It's not funny, later. But, um.
Yep.
What did I think about these episodes? I don't know, EliteAri. They weren't doing a whole bunch of a lot, were they? They were getting a house, and then they were having a party at the house.
Yep, I completely agree. Not a lot happened, but a lot happened at the same time. I guess it's interesting. I think a lot of the appeal of this kind of slice of life, moving into a house, having a wedding, blah blah blah, all this stuff. I think the appeal of it in the novel is getting a lot of Rudius's mind. Right, a lot of the insights is what is he thinking. It's the small details that I like. I think we get a lot less of that in this anime. Obviously, there's not much action. I guess there's been like 2 action shots, one in each episode. The first one was like the doll, the automatic doll thing attacking, which was pretty cool. And then we have the Luke fight in the second episode, which is also pretty cool. But yeah, I don't feel like the anime really elevated much of the original or anything like that. I think it was perfectly fine, these first 2 episodes, but nothing particularly special is, I guess, what would be my take. But yeah.
I feel like most of the topics of discussion were the little details, because I remember having a
Sure.
bunch of little moments where I'm like, oh, we can talk about this. But do I remember any of them right now? Of course I do not. But EliteAri takes
Well, I
notes.
have a nice summary.
So.
But I guess
Oh my
one thing to
goodness.
say is that I think to me, I was very interested because, we have a new director. They've had time between the cours. A big issue I had from last season was that last season didn't feel anywhere near comparable to the first season in terms of production quality. But that was just the first cour, all right? If you compare the first cour of season 1 to the first cour of season 2, the difference isn't that great. It's when you get to the second cour of season 1 that the production was really, really good. And I thought, you know what, maybe in the second cour of season 2, they'll really step it up. But I would say it's pretty similar to the last season. I don't know if I could even tell the difference. If you told me that this was just one continuous season, I'd be like, oh yeah, I guess. If anything, I would say it's like a slight step down. There's 2, like I said, 2 real sequences that were particularly interesting to look at. One was the doll one that I think was animated really well. And you had the one fight thing here with Luke in the second episode that I think was animated pretty well. Outside of that, there are a lot of really, really static shots for quite a long time. Almost reminded me of Vinland Saga season 2 for how long they were holding on things. There were a few things where the characters didn't look quite right. They were standing at a distance. They were lower resolution. They had awkward angles. I was like, it's interesting. I would figure that the beginning of the season is where they would spend all their time and attention, but maybe not. Maybe they're spending it on later stuff. So that was kind of strange. But yeah, production wise, I'm only saying all this, by the way, because I've seen a lot of people in all over the internet, Twitter, Reddit, Discord, whatever, saying that
He's overcorrecting.
I might be, because I've seen everywhere people say, oh my god, it's so much of a step up from the previous cour. And to me, I'm like, what gives you that impression? I don't know why this is such a thing that I've seen all around, but it's not to me. If anything, I would say it's a slight step back. Now there are good things, for instance, the colors and the lighting. Particularly, I noticed after the wedding, when it got to the evening and there were really, I don't know, it was muted colors or something. That looked really cool. The backgrounds are actually really good. That's one thing that I would say is exceptional. And maybe that is why some people, maybe they're seeing the backgrounds and they're like, oh my god, it's so pretty. You see the city. Maybe that's why they think it's got better. I don't know. But yeah, production. Just thought I'd mention that. Now overall thoughts here, but
So everything EliteAri just said was, fake and wrong. Mushoku Tensei's always looked exactly the same, always looked exactly as it does now. There's no better parts. They just always look the same. There was no long takes on shots or anything. I didn't notice none of that, so it must not be real. I didn't notice any low thingies in the background, so that must not be real either.
True.
Oh, can we first of all? I just wrote down while you're saying. I just wrote down Luke sucks. We're all still in agreement that Luke still sucks, right?
Luke is, when I did my tier list, he was in my S tier of characters. Luke is one of my favorite characters in Mushoku Tensei, and the scene we got of him in this second episode is almost undoubtedly the reason why. Now I'll give a brief tease now. I don't think the scene did any of what I liked about it justice, but I think it was very well made, but we'll get to that, I guess. But yeah, you don't like Luke? Oh my gosh, crazy.
Luke's a cuck. I hate him, and I feel like we've had this conversation before because I feel like I remember you saying, "Oh yeah, he's one of my favorite characters."
Mm-hmm.
or he gets better or something last time when I was complaining about him. But Luke sucks. Now, EliteAri, about these visual things. One thing I did notice, and I did notice it, and you said it was muted colors in that ends fight scene that they're going to have.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I noticed it in other places too. It seemed like the texture of like their clothes was different. This is very on display when Rudy was trying on clothes, where it looked like the texture of the actual clothes were weird.
Well, the mean ones, like the jacket with the
yeah,
I agree with that,
even,
but I think
even
that's
the one
intentional.
he chose.
Okay,
and then because obviously I was like, oh, that's funny, but it's not like it's like because you watched a video one time and then you always told me about it, and I was like, EliteAri's lying. Where he's like, oh, there's like some parts of Mushoku Tensei that have film grain on them and some that don't or something.
Yep.
Some lie about this that isn't real. Now,
I think it's very obvious. Yeah.
I feel like I saw it, like that's the texture, like there's film grain on it. It's like the texture. And it was only on like the character. Now I know they're not 3D or whatever, EliteAri. I know everything about animation. So it's not, I'm not going to say it was on their models, EliteAri. But on all the characters, it looked, I don't know, it didn't look bad. It just looked, it didn't even look weird. It was just, I don't know.
It's interesting.
Maybe it was Crunchyroll, I don't fucking know.
It could be. I'm also interested that you pointed out in the clothing scene, because I would expect that in the fighting scene at the end of the wedding, where it's like a bit darker and it's like getting to evening or whatever, I would assume you would see it more then, maybe because it's like dark and green. Maybe they made it look more obvious in the dark colors or something. But it's interesting you saw it more in the bright colors. I don't know. But yeah, it's like always there. Like
in other places, I just don't remember it.
Maybe you just have a good internet connection for once, so you're getting like the full detail and you're seeing everything. Who knows?
It did look highly HD, and it did not buffer a single time, so that was incredible.
Yep.
Luke sucks texture, and then we got one big thing to talk about: overall thoughts, EliteAri. We love overall thoughts.
Yep.
Now, Kyle Entertainment, he's big simp, EliteAri. You ever notice that?
I have noticed that. Yes.
He loves romance over here, except, as I brought up to you recently, I don't think so, EliteAri. I think I hate romance now.
Yes,
and then I had a realization. Because I'm like, I'm going back to watch these sex scenes or whatever with these two idiots. I feel like I liked it a lot last time, and now I'm just like, oh, whatever. I'm like everybody now. I've become what I hated, EliteAri. I'm just like, sex scenes. What's even the point? Let's get it over. I'm not to that extreme yet. It's just not as titillating, EliteAri.
Yes.
Now, I feel like old Kyle Entertainment would have shown up here. He would have gotten the little car here. He would have gotten near his microphone. He would have said to EliteAri, these are the greatest episodes of all time, EliteAri, because I'm always complaining. These idiots always get their girlfriends at the end of the show. Or they sleep with them one time and then they cut their red hair off and they run off, EliteAri. Remember that in this shit show?
Yes, sir.
And I was like, oh, these shows don't know how to write a relationship. How shitty. And this time they're actually doing it, though they kind of weren't. And then in the first episode, there was like a little thing where he's like, I'm not going to let Sylphie in on this or something. I'm like, oh, this is how they're going to get around it. But then no, they kind of did do a thingy. But I was like, oh, I don't really like this shit. You know, I'm over it. So it didn't have the appeal.
So are you one of the fans that I see on Twitter these days who are like, when is Mushoku Tensei going to get back to the action? I've had enough of this relationship stuff.
I hate action, EliteAri.
Okay. Yep. Well, that's good.
I didn't think it was bad. It was okay. Like, I'm having an okay time over here. But I wasn't like losing my fucking mind like I should have been, EliteAri.
All right. Well, I think we're in similar positions. All right. I thought it was good. Pretty good.
My epiphany, EliteAri. Now I realized this. Now, obviously, I don't know how obvious this is. People on the EliteAri channel don't know about this. I name drop it sometimes on stream. I achieved girlfriend, EliteAri. Yeah. And then I was thinking, well, that's probably why, right? I'm just over it now. Now, the difference is, my epiphany was, I was like, oh my God, that's why people generally don't write about relationships, EliteAri, because they suck. You hate each other, it's miserable. But you just love each other and everything. It's great. It's worth it in the end. But it's these, you get, what are you going to write about these little arguments where it's just stupid and you're spiraling and shit like this? So obviously what everybody likes, EliteAri, is the falling in love part. So that's why everybody writes about the little teasers up until they actually get together. Then we cut and no more show when they're together afterwards. Because then you don't have to think about it. You don't have to show that stuff. So I had my epiphany, EliteAri. I was like, oh, that's why. That's why people don't like all the after stuff. That's why people don't write about it. So
but don't you think,
I figured it out.
Kyle, don't you think people like descriptive realism, like you always say? And wouldn't that be the best
Yeah.
form of descriptive realism, where you have a
We love
relationship
descriptive realism.
that's annoying or
True,
whatever? I
just
don't
like
know.
The Sopranos, but then The
Yeah.
Sopranos is just about how everybody hates each other and nobody loves each other.
Mhm.
Is that what real life is like, EliteAri? Maybe.
Perhaps, yes.
But anyway,
all right.
that's my little diatribe.
Thank you for that, Kyle. I'm glad you made notes. Episode 13, My Dream Home. So, I'm going to start with a recap here. So, Rudius. Oh, I don't know how much you like. I even missed this the first time through, but Rudius, he's cut a little section from the bed sheets and he's stored it in a little box next to Roxy's underwear, and he prays in front of it. Do you remember this scene at all?
Hold on, EliteAri. I'm assuming things, but see, that's what girls don't like, EliteAri, when you assume things. So we need to have an argument where Rudy assumes something and Sylvie gets very mad, and then they yell at each other for 2 hours. Now that's some descriptive realism.
Okay.
But besides that, EliteAri, why did I say that? Because I said assumed. You triggered me, EliteAri. Don't say that word. Now, obviously, we've got the little prey thingy to the panties and stuff. That's what I assumed was going on. But apparently, you're telling me he cut out the part where she bled on the thingy from last. Is that what he cut out?
That is what I was saying.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, just thought I'd point that out.
That's probably more creepy, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
So again, I was having, because every time this comes up, you've just got to sort of reflect on it as a narrative device. He's praying to the panties. Isn't that, there's part of you that respects it. It's like, oh my God, it's such a goofy thing and we're taking it so seriously. It's like his emotional support thing. Is the point that just because it's goofy and silly and potentially sexual, is this the show highlighting that everybody has to be goofy about sex to deal with it? And like, it's actually pointing back on you, audience, for thinking that it's creepy and not good. You're the idiot. Or is it just a stupid gag that's dumb anime shit born out of Japan's rampant rape culture, EliteAri?
Okay.
You just gotta reflect on these things. Is it the ultimate feminist talking point, or the ultimate anti-feminist talking point, EliteAri? You know,
or is it a character moment for Rudius, where now here we kind of see that even though he's changed in some ways, in other ways he's still the same, as he used to be. I don't know.
Well, maybe you're throwing this little change on it. That's probably a lie, just like all those other lies you were telling, where you're saying he cut out this thing. I guess I would have to go back and look, but I'm not going to do that. So I guess I'll believe you. In that case, it doesn't, because you would think, didn't he have Eris's hair? I was going to say he never really loved Roxy or whatever. So why is Sylvie replacing Roxy? That doesn't make sense. She's replacing.
Well, he put it next to the panties, right? He didn't get rid of.
Didn't swap him out. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's collecting some treasured things, I guess.
Now remember, our other overarching Kyle Entertainment talking point, stolen from Trixie, the Golden Witch, formerly known as Digibro, was that Mushoku Tensei's most defining feature, its most interesting feature, the only thing that makes it not generic EliteAri, you can cheer for yourself, is it's how everything's about sex in this show. So this sort of ties into all of that stuff. Yeah, he's praying to sexuality. That's what makes his world go round, because that's what this author's all about. Many things to think about, EliteAri.
Indeed.
Who was I just thinking? Oh, I was thinking about Alexandra, EliteAri, when he says many thanks for watching at the end of his episode, his YouTube videos, and makes you want to kill yourself because it's cringy. Yep. Anyway, keep going.
Okay, so then Rudy, he goes to homeroom and he's a changed man, and he's greeting everyone. He tells them he's been cured of a condition. And then we see all those characters that you probably forgot about. So we have Zainoba and Julie. Okay, remember them? You remember Zainoba, the prince guy who is a blessed child.
Julie, the slave.
Julie, the slave. Yes.
They disgust me.
Yep, perhaps the most famous thing that Mushoku Tensei is now known for. Crazy. We have Linnea and Persona, the beast people. The two princesses of the Doldia
She even
village.
called him Grand Master or something, EliteAri.
Yeah, so Zainoba calls him Master, and Zainoba is technically Julie's master, so Julie is like, that's her Grandmaster. Isn't that crazy?
It's disgusting.
Yeah. Linnea and Persona, you remember them. And we got Cliff as well. Remember Cliff, the boy who met
Cliff
Eris
had
that
an
one
episode
time?
with Eris, and then they were fighting something, and then he was a little grumpy boy, and now he's in love with Alana Lies, and then he calls her something else, but I was going to say, that's easier to say, but then it's kind of cringe, and I don't like it, so I'm not going to say it, so I'm just going to continue saying her full name wrong.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so then next, after this homeroom stuff, Rudius goes to help Nanahoshi with her experiments.
Stop saying homeroom. What are you, American?
Well, I mean, I think that's what they said in the books. It's like, I think it's the only compulsory class they have to go to is like the homeroom, like once a month or something. That's why we only ever see them
I
in that
think
one
you said
room,
that last
and there's no
time.
teacher or anything, because they're special students. They don't need teachers. Okay, so Rudy, we see that off screen has been helping Nanahoshi out with her experiments, and now they're doing one of their experiment sessions. And he asks her about dating, and he says, "If you dated someone, what would you want from them?" So clearly he's like, he doesn't know what to do. He is in a relationship now. Well, what's he gonna do? And Nanahoshi, she's probably a bit annoyed or something. So Rudy assumes that she's never been in love.
She thinks he's a little creep. That's what she thinks. She's like, this fucking fake world bullshit. This idiot's fallen in love with a video game character. That's embarrassing. That's what she's thinking.
Potentially. And then she mentions that she has been in love, Kyle. And do you remember the person she was in love with that Rudy mentions in this?
Yes, isekai, stupid, something.
Indeed.
Yeah.
She was arguing before they all got teleported or whatever. So, yeah, something's going on.
Oh my god, EliteAri, there's so much setup in these 2 episodes. So first of all, here we're still pushing the Nanahoshi and Rudy have a fight about what is fake in the real world and where we should go. We're pushing that argument down the tracks because that's going to blow up one day. They're going to come to fisticuffs.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be sick. He's going to be, wake up, you little dweeb. She's going to find out that he was a 30-year-old Japanese dude because she doesn't know that yet, EliteAri, because she thinks he's European or something. And she's going to be like, you just don't want to go back because you're pathetic. Because Rudy literally said that when he was meeting the little man god. And the ultimate Mushoku Tensei question, the one that's on all of our minds constantly, EliteAri, is whether or not thematically we're going to have to go back to the real world at the end and improve our real lives and throw all this fake shit away.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's going to be about embracing the fake shit and forgetting about the real life.
Yep.
Oh my god, my computer just went black because it was idle and I thought it went flat, and my little heart, it just did a little... But anyway, so that one's being pushed down the track, so we're just being reminded of that here while she's like, fuck you, moron, this is a fake girl, and you're a pedophile. Well, we're not up to that point yet, EliteAri.
All right.
No. There's another thing we're pushing down the tracks.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing their little experiments. EliteAri, and she's going to cry when she finally meets her boyfriend, EliteAri, and she's going to be like, I'm sorry I was arguing with you all that. Or she's going to find him, and he's going to be like, fuck you, bitch, you told me to die when we last met. I don't want to be your boyfriend anymore. And then we'll delay that, so we'll push that down the tracks until the very climax of this series.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Don't worry, EliteAri, I can write this goddamn series. I know everything.
Yep. All right.
I knew Nanahoshi was an isekai girl.
You did, and that was the most impressive thing you've ever said, Kyle. And it was, good job. Anyway, at the end of the scene, Nanahoshi, her answer was that if she likes someone, then she will want to spend time with them or whatever.
Just spending enough time is enough, yeah.
Absolutely. So then, Rudy doesn't know how marriage works in this world, so he goes to his best friends, Zenoba and Cliff. And Cliff tells him that you start by buying a house. So then Rudy goes house shopping, which is an interesting thing in this world. Then he finds a house, and Rudy, Cliff, and Zenoba, they go to the cursed house, which is like, it's a bit destroyed and abandoned, and apparently people have died in there, and it's pretty crazy. And they check out every room, and they don't find anything dangerous at all. So then they go and they sleep at night, and then something steps out of its hiding spot in the basement. And what do you think was going to happen there, Kyle?
I was like, oh my god, what's it going to be, EliteAri? Is it going to be something cool? Is it going to be just something we got a reason through? Are they going to get a dog? Oh my god. Mm-hmm. And it was well, I guess we haven't said what it is yet. So.
All right. Turns out it's an automated doll that is stalking them. So yeah, it attacks Rudy. He fires off a stone cannon, the famous stone cannon, and it bounces off. Isn't that crazy?
Now that was incredible, EliteAri. And then it stabbed the big strong boy, Zanu Baba.
Yep. Or it tries to.
And I was like, because the whole time, EliteAri, I'm like, oh yeah, we're hiding this thingy, and then it's going to look big and scary, and then we're going to beat it up. Because the whole time, I'm like, this is kind of a little bit of a boring first episode, We're just going into a mansion and stuff. It feels like a solo mission, like by solo, I mean like singular episode thing. What the fuck are we doing here? This is a good reintroduction. Yep. It's a little boring. And then it repelled Rudy's thing. And the whole time, I think Rudy's got this attitude of, oh, we'll just get rid of this fucking thing and it'll be easy. I thought it was going to be some crazy shit. I thought this fucking Zanuba dude was going to die and Rudy was going to get the shit beaten out of him. And that was the twist. This was secretly turning point 7, EliteAri. And cool stuff was going to happen. So it faked me out a little bit, and then they just held onto it. I don't even remember how they beat it. They tried to use magic spells, and Zenobada was just holding him, and then he stopped.
Yeah, it ran out of steam because Zenoba was He was holding it back. It was
Oh,
crazy.
because it was attacking him so much. That makes sense.
Mm.
But obviously this is another thing we're pulling down. At some point, whatever puppet master. Oh my god, it's the puppet devil. That was her name.
Mm.
Doll devil. Oh my god, it's a doll anyway. EliteAri.
Yep.
We love Chainsaw Man here. So this idiot's gonna show up at the house one day, and he's gonna be like, he's gonna be a character, and we're pushing it down because we saw his little books, and he's gonna be really strong, or we're gonna meet him
Wait, the
someplace
doll?
else.
Wait, what are you talking? Oh, the person who made the doll.
The person who made the dolls.
Okay, yes. Well, Rudy assumed that they were
Doll is gonna be
murdered. Oh, not murdered, that they died accidentally or whatever. Like they're dead.
Yeah, he did say that, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I guess that would
But
be a
Rudy
way
could be
to
wrong.
just be like, oh, we don't have to do this ever again.
Mhm.
But I don't know. It'll be a cool doll dude. He'll help us fight Laplace or whatever that bloke's name is. Remember there was
That's
that
a
one
good-
dude we
yeah.
still haven't met again who
Good job.
bowed to that one dude on the throne up in the sky and stuff.
Oh, wait, no, that's Perugius.
That's gotta come
Laplace is the
Oh my
demon
god,
lord that was sealed
Perugius
away.
Laplace.
Yeah.
Well, obviously he's coming back to. Oh my god, he's not even dead. He was sealed away. He
Yep.
was sealed in a little jar, and Pilaf's
Yeah.
gonna find him at the bottom of the ocean.
Perhaps.
Now,
Well, okay.
anyway.
I guess my one thing I want to point out is how in this scene where they're all confronting the doll, I loved how long. Do you know what I'm going to say? I'm just like, I wonder if you're going to know what I'm going to say, but how long,
How long?
I'll just say it, Cliff's spell
Long.
was. He like chanted for like a whole like 10, 20 seconds or something. It was crazy. And then he tried to exercise it and it didn't work. So it just goes to show, you know, how advanced Rudy is with his wordless spell casting. We love him.
Yeah, this is another thing we're pushing down the tracks was Cliff's being a little bitch, and we still haven't addressed it, and Rudy's just like ignoring it or something.
Well, I mean, that was a cute
We got-
scene where, you know, Cliff was obviously scared, but he won't admit it. And then Rudy is like, I don't want to like tease him. You know, he tried to help his best. I was also scared, you know, so I think that was a nice relationship building for them. That was cute.
There was another thing where I was like, what is, like, Rudy's obviously the most powerful boy of all time, and he just beats up everything. And then he kind of couldn't do shit against this doll. And then I was like, if some ninja dude does run up on Rudy, what's he gonna do? I was like, he can't use a sword. Well, I found out later he could in the next episode. I thought his sword skills were kind of shitty because Eris was way stronger and stuff.
True.
But I guess he could, so he should have just cut him up and stuff. There was no danger here. I was tricked.
All right. Well, after this doll encounter,
We're gonna
Rudy-
get a whole Cliff episode where he's like overcoming his cowardice. Literally, that's gonna suck. I don't like this Cliff fella. He's kind of shitty.
Interesting. Okay. Have you liked him more or less since the first time we saw him in that one Eris episode?
I do not recall how I felt about him back then. He was a little shit, so I probably liked him or something. But now he's like, oh, I just can't stand up to the big creatures. Oh, this is going to be addressed later in a boring little speech that Rudy's going to give me the confidence. Shut up.
Excellent. So after this doll encounter, Rudy and Zainobo, they decide they want to take the doll back to the school and research it. And the implication, I guess, is that Rudy wants to make a sex doll or something. That's kind of what I got from it. Talking about
Yeah,
latex
he's
or
like,
something.
I can make us latex, or did he say silicone?
Oh, maybe
he
silicone.
said something.
Yeah.
Now, I thought, he's a big nerd. Maybe he just wants to make toys that can, like, fight each other. That's pretty cool, Leary.
Yeah, that would be
Little
cool.
boy, you just want Spider-Man over here to fight the Ninja Turtles you got, but you just got to, like, make him do it. It's lame. So that could be cool, but I don't know. He's got a girlfriend now. What's he need a sex doll for?
Very true. I mean, actually, I'm not going to say anything, but yeah, okay, interesting.
Oh, of the other girls? Oh my god, EliteAri, another thing I just figured out Mushoku Tensei, and I didn't just have an epiphany now, but I might forget to bring it up later, even though it makes more sense to bring it up later. It's going to be so great when Rudy cheats on Sylphie, and that's going to be an emotional moment. And he's going to be like, I'm just like Paul. And because his penis is back.
Yes.
Now, I don't know if the show has the balls to do this, but that would be epic, and I would love to see their relationship navigate that. And maybe even Sylphie says, I don't want to be with you ever again. We're getting a divorce. And then she actually becomes an own character, and she goes, I remember EliteAri. They even set this up at the end of the second episode where she's like, if you don't want Sylphie anymore, we'll take her back. She can go back to being a little guard. And then Rudius is going to end up on the other side of the war, and then at the very end they're going to be fighting, and he's going to have to confront Sylphie, and by then Eris will be his girlfriend again, but he's not going to cheat on her with Eris.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, we already did the coward shit where Eris has the silly thingy where she's like, oh, Eris is going to come back and she's just going to love the idea of Rudy or something. It's going to be some bullshit. That other girl that he didn't fuck from last season is going to come back, and he's going to cheat on Sylphie with her. because I like Sarah, and that was cool. But no, she was shitty at the end too. Remember when Rudy tried to kill himself? That was hilarious.
That was that was cool.
Or we can just a new bitch. Oh my god, EliteAri. They're gonna get bored with each other. You know, he's gonna be on episode 17 of dating this bitch, and he's gonna be like, they're gonna have another argument about assumptions, EliteAri, just like I was saying.
Oh yeah.
And he's gonna, and then some new bitch is gonna be traveling with him, and he's gonna turn over and he's gonna be like, this one, I like this one. And then it's gonna happen later. It's gonna be great. Mushoku Tensei doesn't have the balls.
Or maybe he'll get with the Lionel Eyes. Wouldn't that be crazy?
No, we already have a stupid plot reason why that's not gonna happen.
All right. Anyway, they're researching the doll. I guess before they actually leave,
it would be cool if he fucked one of the
linear impersonator. Yeah,
but that's not gonna happen either.
Very true. And why is that not going to happen?
What if he fucked a princess? Now that would be crazy drama.
That would be crazy.
It's gonna be a new character, EliteAri. Isn't he related to her too?
Huh? To who?
That's it. The princess.
I don't think so.
Oh, they're just a noble family. They're not the royal family. Those are
her name. She's Ariel Unamoy Azura. So I don't think she has any. I mean, maybe there's some like distant relation. I know he's related to Eris because Grey Rat, but yeah. Maybe someone will correct me. Comment in the comments.
That the cousin.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
all right.
Just find another cousin then.
Anyway, we've already talked about this a little bit, but they go back to the basement and they discover a secret part, which seems to be some sort of like research lab or something. And it has this like pedestal thing, and Cliff's like, "What is this?" And Rudy's like, "I don't know what this is."
It's like an altar, bro. It's an altar.
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna call the darkness devil.
Perhaps. They find a book. Which they assume has research inside and has like a skeleton drawn and stuff, and pretty cool. And Kyle thinks this person who made this stuff is going to come back and kill Rudy or something. That's going to be interesting.
Now, EliteAri's trying to throw me off the scent by mocking me as if that wasn't a good prediction. So now I know that I'm 100% correct. And now he's going to giggle like, whatever. I figured it out, EliteAri, because this little doll looked like a futuristic robot. This is another isekai guy, but he's from the far future. Because who's to say you just get isekai'd from the one point in time? What if somebody from the 1500s gets isekai'd to the same world in the same time period as you? Now, that would be crazy. I should write an isekai. Well, that's the premise, EliteAri. I'm just giving away all these great ideas.
Yes, well done.
That is to say, it's not happening in Mushoku Tensei. I don't want to predict that everybody's getting isekai, because then that would take away from my genius opinion, where I already figured it out. Oh, EliteAri, I came up with the genius idea that Mushoku Tensei is not doing, but they should do. The reveal, because obviously, oh my god, EliteAri, we're jumping ahead. But another thing we're pushing down the thingy is Sylphie finding out that he's actually 37, or he's 50 at some shit at this point, because Nanahoshi almost brings it up, but then they go around it. So obviously later when Nanahoshi and Thingy have the thingy, and she's like, you just don't want to go back, because they figured out how to go back, and she's like, and they both have to go back for some reason, so that's how we have conflict and shit. I can write plot conveniences, EliteAri, I'm a genius. And so we got these two idiots over here, and she's like, you're just too attached to fake bitches. I'm a real bitch, and I'm going back. And then Rudy's gonna be like, listen, Hoshi, I just really want to stay. Can you do this for me? Can you stay for me, okay? And she'll be like, okay. And then she'll backstab him, and she's going to run away to Sylphie and be like, he's actually a 50-year-old creepy old man, and you've been groomed. And she's going to realize it. I think that's fucked up. And it's oh my goodness, EliteAri, and that's how we get that. Oh, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
Now, this was brought up to get to something else.
Well, you're talking about you writing an isekai. And when you said that, I was like, wouldn't it be interesting if you had an isekai where everyone in the story was isekai and they all didn't tell each other, and it was all like they were all hiding it?
My genius idea! You just spoiled it. But I was like, what if to get around that, so Sylphie isn't mad at him, Sylphie is actually being an isekai fat 34-year-old woman the whole time, and therefore the reveal is, oh, it's okay, Rudy. I understand you because I'm just like that too. And then maybe Rudy has a moment where he's like, this bitch deceived me. I'm mad about it. And he's a little hypocrite because he's just like Paul, and we hate Paul, and he's a bad guy, except Paul's a good guy. Oh, EliteAri, you also didn't... All right, that's a genius idea. I just predicted that Sylphie is also being isekai, and it's going to be true, and EliteAri is not going to say anything right now because he's nervous because I just figured it out. But listen, Chad, I figured it out. We're going to have another Nanahoshi moment when that happens in season 3. I slapped it. Oh, EliteAri. Oh, you can hear it now. It's great. Oh,
What
I
are you
bet Jarkey
what are you trying
Bacon
to
would have
say?
freaked out if he had watched this fucking opening that spoils everything, EliteAri.
We're getting to it. We haven't got there yet, all right? Actually, you know what?
Oh, okay.
Let's actually talk
Was
about
it
it
in the
now.
second episode,
Yeah, it
not the
wasn't the
first
second
one?
one, but let's talk about
They're
it.
gonna find an ice dragon or something to save Zenith. It's gonna be sick, and Roxy's gonna be there. And
Mhm.
I already got spoiled that he's gonna reunite with his sisters because that was in the one poster I saw.
Yeah,
And
that's
I also
true.
think I watched all the trailers, but I forgot what they were doing. So I wasn't really feeling that bad that I got spoiled. But Jarkey Bacon would
Mhm.
be losing his mind, wouldn't
He
he?
would be, yeah. It's just like showing a bunch of stuff, hinting at like has characters and stuff, blah blah blah.
EliteAri doesn't even want to watch the House of the Dragon trailers that showed Jack Fuck.
Yep.
So if he saw this at the beginning of episode 2 or something and he was blind, he would have been scorching mad.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Now, EliteAri, at some point, I was like, maybe they're doing that fake opening thing where it's a fake scene and it's not like in that pain opening. You know, this is for you, audience, because EliteAri's a loser and hasn't seen Naruto.
mhm.
And like all the girls are fighting Conan and shit, and that didn't happen in the actual show. Lame. Maybe that's what was happening with the little thingy. And we're not actually going to get Roxy and Paul and Rudy all running to fight up this dragon with Zenith and a crystal. Didn't I say she was underground or underwater or something, EliteAri?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, so inner crystal's the same thing, and a cave underground is the same thing as underwater.
Mhm.
Maybe it's a water dragon.
Mhm.
Sick. But yeah, it spoiled everything. DD didn't spoil too much.
Yeah, indeed. It was more of a summary, like a recap of where he's been and where he's going, you know?
No, I don't remember any song. I remember the first song. I remember the visuals of the OP looking really sick, and the ED looked pretty cool too. And I was like, maybe the song is good, but I've only heard it once, so I don't know nothing.
Mhm. I guess I would say I loved last season's one. Like that was really good. I guess my number one preference is to have no opening and just do what it did in season 1 with like just showing
remember
stuff. Yeah, that was really cool.
was
It is a
really
shame
cool.
they've just gone to openings now. But yeah, last season's was really good, like season 2. This one is terrible. I don't like this opening at all. I think the visuals are really uninteresting. I think the song is terrible. I don't like any element of this opening whatsoever, except for the fist bump with Rudy and Paul at the end. That was pretty cool.
Sweet. I hate Paul.
Other than that, I don't think I liked
Rudy.
anything. Visuals the first. It's crazy how we've gone from such a like I don't know, interesting and cool visuals and stuff in the first like season 2 opening to now it's just like I don't know, it's just like showing action and like characters and I'm like it's like boring and I don't like it. So anyway, which is a shame for me specifically because I think a good show can be brought down a lot by a poor ending and a poor opening. I know a lot of people don't care about it, but to me it's like it to me it shows a lot of cohesion in the vision of the show if you have an opening that kind of matches the rest of the tone of the show and is like fits in with it pretty well visually, and I don't think this opening does that at all. But I don't know who to blame for that.
Well,
What'd you say?
I said, well, but then I stopped because you were still speaking.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know who to blame. I think it would probably be the season director probably, but it's okay. All right, he's still got chances to make it up for me. Anyway.
Everything EliteAri said just cemented that I will be liking it from now on, just to piss him off. So that's pretty cool. And also, this is coming from the guy that thought "Tell Me Why" didn't fit Berserk. So what the fuck does he know, chat? You know.
I like that song though. That's a good song. This Mushoku Tensei song, I did not like at all.
But it was cool. It was like fast or something at the end. I can't remember it at all, but I remember the moment being like, "Oh, this is like,
excellent." Fast. Anyway, back to the recap here. So they're heading back to school, and Zainoba's begging Rudy. He's like, "Rudy, please, master, I have to be in charge of the doll research." He thinks he's hindering the current research with like making dolls and manufacturing them or whatever. Because he's like too strong and his hands are clumsy and blah blah blah. So he thinks he can actually make a difference if he instead works on this research. And Rudy clearly notices that it's important to Zainoba, so he accepts, and it's like a happy, cute friendship moment, you know. Then, Rudy takes Sylphie to visit the new house, and you see that it's all been tidied up, and the roof is painted green, just like her old hair, and it's really cute, and I like that. I guess one thing for me to say before you comment is that this is more of a thing when I watch the trailers, when you see the house for the first time. This house is not really at all what I pictured it would look like. It's a lot, I think it's a lot bigger than I thought. I never really thought it was like a whole giant mansion or anything. But yeah, it's just interesting. However, one thing that was striking was when they step in for the first time and you see the staircase going up. That was like a moment where I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe we're seeing more of this house, because that specific visual is like a cover of one of the volumes, and I was like, wow. they've like taken it straight and put it in the anime, and we're seeing more details and stuff. That was pretty cool. So it was exciting to see like different rooms of the house or whatever at this point. So yeah.
So I guess we're staying at this house for a little while. If EliteAri's sorting out about this being the house, so.
Well, I think it's a big, it's a big change in no house to having a house, So it'll at least be a few episodes here. So yeah, they go to the house. Yeah, Sylvie sees it.
Wait, I got a very important question, EliteAri. So did he magic the house to look all cool, or did he do it himself in manual labor? It's got to be like that Harry Potter spell at the beginning of Half-Blood Prince, where they just make the house up,
Yeah.
Dumbledore
So
puts it all back together. That was sick.
if I was a lesser man, Kyle, I would say I have no idea how. I don't remember. I'm sure they talked about it in the light novel, but I don't remember. However, I'm a great man who reads through Reddit threads after the episodes come out, and everyone in the spoiler Reddit threads on Six Faced World, they were all talking about how, oh my god, they left out the scene where the dwarf comes in and they hire him to like clean the house or whatever. So apparently there was a scene in the light novel where I think it was like a dwarf, I think, or maybe it's like some other magical race or something.
Dwarf, right?
Yeah, but I think you know what? I could be wrong. Maybe it's not a dwarf, but some magical race came in.
Don't
probably
just
a dwarf.
run over that like it's not exceptional that I just remembered that.
It is. That is very impressive. Yeah. Yeah, and she can handle alcohol or whatever because she's a dwarf, and they talk about RCs.
Yeah, I remembered her drinking habits when they were drinking later. I remember that too.
So yeah, apparently that's how they cleaned up their house. So they had like a contractor come in and clean it up.
Because I was thinking more about magic EliteAri. Now, I saw a shitty YouTube video thumbnail the other day that was like, magic systems, how to get them right and get them wrong, or some shit, a shitty YouTube video like that. And I was thinking Mushoku Tensei's magic system. They really don't have all these convenient magic spells you need. Harry Potter's got the best magic, EliteAri, because there's a spell for everything. And it might not make any sense, but kill yourself. So this one, they don't got like any food making spell. They don't got any make the house for me spell. Like what?
Jesus, wait, Kyle, you just cut out. Oh my god, guys, maybe he hit his microphone. Wouldn't that be crazy?
Ed.
Oh, you're back. Welcome back.
My connection. How long was I gone?
I don't know, like 5 seconds. You were talking about the spells and cleaning and cooking and blah, blah, blah.
Did my funny kill yourself joke, did you get that
Absolutely not. What a shame.
Ah, what? That was a good one. That was more than 5 seconds ago, you liar. Anyway, I said that they don't have house-making spells, so the magic in Mushoku Tensei is lame, and I don't want to live there.
And this is when I quiz you, Kyle, and I go, so Kyle, what are the fundamental like magic types that they have in this world?
Well, he said earth and water in the episode when he was getting clothes.
Right.
So
well
obviously
done.
you got to have wind and fire and lightning.
Lightning? Have we seen any hint of lightning whatsoever in the?
Oh my goodness, EliteAri. He's so stupid, Chad. He doesn't even understand that was a sick Naruto reference.
Oh,
to the
okay.
5 chakra natures.
Okay, all right.
It's not even lightning, huh?
I have
Because
no
lightning's
idea.
one way. Because in Naruto, you can combine each one of them to make another thing, and then you can combine the combinations so that there's like 25 types. And I think lightning is like combining water with wind and another thing. And then you can use yin and yang chakra EliteAri, but that's only when you're a S tier Super Saiyan God level opponent at the very end of the series. But then there's that black dude, and he uses black lightning style, and he's pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess the similar thing in Mushoku Tensei.
Afterwards, EliteAri, I was actually trying to name them all, and then when you laughed at me for lightning, I realized that I had done the Naruto thing, so I'm smart.
So you did make a mistake. That's good to hear. So yeah, fire, water, wind, earth, I guess. Yeah, they're the basic ones. Then you got like healing, of course.
It's only 4.
No, we've seen healing, right? Rudy's not very good at it. He always gets someone else to do it for him. We have, I guess there's like barrier magic, but I don't think we've seen that. We've just heard about it in the school and stuff. What else would there be? I guess there's summoning magic, but we haven't talked much about that.
Only the man god can do that, EliteAri, when he summons you from the isekai world.
Perhaps. But he did say when we first met the man god that reincarnation is more a thing of the dragon god or whatever. That was the thing he mentioned briefly. But yeah, there's different types of magic, and you can combine them together. Like that one time Rudy did cumulonimbus back in like episode 4 or something, when he brought all the clouds together and made it into a nice storm. That was pretty cool.
Not as cool as Naruto, but
probably not. But it was probably way better, like production wise. Probably animation stuff was way cooler. Okay.
That's absolutely not true. Naruto's the greatest looking anime of all time.
All right. So they're in the house. They're checking out all the rooms. It's really cute. They're all happy. Blah blah blah. And then they sit on the bed and they have a little chat where they're talking about their future. And Sylvie says that there's another 2 years before Ariel graduates and goes back to Azura. So even though she likes the house and it's all great, she doesn't feel like she can properly like settle in, you know? She feels like, oh, I'm just going to be gone in 2 years anyway. That's what she talks about. And then Rudy, he reaffirms that he wants to marry her. And he's like, Sylvie, I want to marry you. And Sylvie's like, she looks at the camera and she goes, hi, or says yes, whatever. And that's the thumbnail that we're going with for this video, by the way. So yeah, and it's really cute, and it's the best drawing in this, like the whole best art in this whole episode is her saying hi, and it was in the trailer as well, and it was the coolest moment in the trailer. So yeah.
Well, I don't remember it, so fuck you. But also, there was like a little moment where Rudy almost didn't say, well, he didn't say this, but it seems like he was like, oh, that kind of sucks. But then he was like, I'm not going to bring up that's not, like, that doesn't work for me, brother.
Yeah.
Sick referencing.
Yes.
And because he's going to be a good partner. Now, I don't know. I'd just move in 2 years. You got 2 years. That's a long way away, you know, EliteAri. I don't even see how that's a big deal or nothing, but, you know.
Yeah, it is a very long time. Well, one more thing that happens in this conversation.
She doesn't want to be impregnated, so.
Yeah, they do mention that a lot. Oh my god. But yeah, the episode ends with...
EliteAri's surprise in his voice when bringing that up indicates that they will not have children, at least until after the series is completed. Spoiler alert.
All right, well, I guess we'll have to see. The episode ends with Sylvie requesting that Rudy doesn't just up and disappear on him, and then Rudy promises that he won't. And how cute. Isn't that cute?
EliteAri, this was sick because she didn't know that she was bringing up the heiress thing, but this was also, this puts your little ears up, like a little Sylvie style, and you're like, this bitch is going to up and leave her. It's going to be great.
It's also a reference to, I guess, when they were kids, and suddenly out of nowhere, Rudy got taken away.
Oh, yeah, he left again.
He works on multiple levels.
I was thinking about that when I was rewatching partially those original episodes, and I was like, oh, it's kind of like the same thing happened to both of them. That's funny.
Yeah, so certainly interesting stuff at the end of this episode. But then...
Is your Discord going off?
Wait, why? What do you mean?
Well, no, actually, I guess it's probably not in our mutual server, but my goodness. Somebody's trying to get my attention. Tell them to get fucked, EliteAri.
Yeah, tell me you're busy talking about Mushoku Tensei, all right?
Yes.
Episode 14, the wedding reception. So, number 1. So, Sylvie and Rudy, they plan... I guess, yeah,
EliteAri, I got a funny anecdote about seeing the title and the thumbnail. I'm like, wedding reception. This is before I had watched any of the episodes, because I didn't watch them until the second one had come out. I only watched them like the last second before I went to work, because, you know, I put things off to the last minute. I'm like,
of course,
Mushoku Tensei, that shit sucks. I don't want to watch that. But... so I see it, and I'm like, oh my god, Alana Lies and Cliff are getting married. This is going to be great. But it wasn't them. It was the other ones.
Yeah, it was our main characters. Yeah, they were getting married when they hinted last episode that they were going to get married. True. Oh, I guess you hadn't seen it yet.
Crunchyroll comments? Yeah.
All right,
Pay attention to my little witty.
Go ahead. Yes, your comments you'll have to read.
Do you think all the Crunchyroll comments would be like, no, Cliff, don't marry a horror brother. Don't do it. Do you think that's what the comments would be? I think
the comments would be in support, and they'd be like, "Oh, this is so cute," and then all the sub comments that are like replying to the comments would be like that.
Cuck.
Yeah.
Don't marry you can't turn a hoe into a housewife, brother.
All right. Well, Kyle was wrong. It's not Alina and Rudy that's getting married. Alina and Cliff are getting married. Sorry, Alina Lise, as you're meant to say it, and it like makes sense. You probably should say it that way, but it's ingrained in my mind.
Yes.
Okay. Sylvie and Rudy, they plan who they're going to invite to their wedding, so they spend some time talking about it. And Rudy invites Alina, Zainoba, Julie, Cliff, Linnea, Persona, Batagati, Genius. Do you know who Genius is, by the way?
He's like the student no, he's like we saw him in one scene, you know, he runs shit.
I think it's like the vice principal or something.
Yeah.
And Soldat. We remember him, of course.
So EliteAri, I remembered Soldat, and I was like, there's no way he's just going to show up again. This is stupid. Convenient bullshit. And then they fixed it later. What a smart show.
Yeah, he was busy. He declined.
Yeah.
Then we have on who Sylvie is going to invite, which is Princess Ariel, Luke, and her 2 attendants. And then Rudy basically didn't even think of inviting Nanahoshi because she's probably not going to come. And Sylvie's like, we should invite her. She'll probably come. So Nanahoshi is added to the list as well. Or Silent 7-star or whatever. Yeah, then we get the opening. You know, the terrible
No
opening.
one's ever said Silent 7-star in this anime, EliteAri. Stop using your book knowledge.
Yeah, so true. But I think they did say that actually at one point. Okay.
Nah.
Rudy and Sylvie, they go shopping and they buy groceries and they buy a new cloak. And
Oh my
Kyle
god,
talks
EliteAri, I
about
got a
that.
witty anecdote. These bitches, EliteAri.
Uh-oh.
No, I'm actually saying this because this wasn't with my now girlfriend.
Mhm.
They love going shopping. And EliteAri, of course, you're saying girls, obviously, they love shopping entertainment. What are you telling me right now? No, EliteAri, they love going shopping with you. This weird
Okay.
domesticating shit, it'll make these girls fall in love with you, EliteAri. You got to be careful about it, you know. You're 5 years older than me, but I'm lecturing you about this, okay? It's not that he's not that much older than me, chat. Okay, calm down. It's like 4 years, right, EliteAri?
What are you, like 21? And I'm what,
22?
27? Yeah.
27. I'm gonna be 23 soon.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to say I'm gonna be or I'm not gonna be something soon to let
I'm
us
gonna
know
be
if your birthday's
27
already
for the
happened.
next like 7 months or 8 months or something.
Oh yeah, you must have it late in the year. Anyway, this is I'm doing this wittily and funnily, EliteAri. Anyway, it's crazy, EliteAri, especially grocery shopping. You gotta be careful with this stuff because they'll do EliteAri. This is what set me off. Where I'm like, oh my god, descriptive reality. And Mushoku Tensei is great. Where they always do the thing. They've never grabbed your arm ever, EliteAri. You don't like holding hands because that's lame, EliteAri. This is now this is getting personal. But
Okay.
they always do the grab the arm thing when you go and grocery shopping with them because they love to role play like you're fucking married and you're domesticated.
Yes.
It's not good,
Okay.
EliteAri. These bitches, they're crazy, EliteAri. But
Thank
they
you for
all love it,
teaching us. Yeah.
and you gotta watch out.
Yep. Lessons with Kyle. This is great. Okay.
This was great, EliteAri, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Descriptively
Okay.
real.
Perfect. I like it. Yeah. They went
She
shopping.
even did the arm grab thing, EliteAri. It was crazy. Jeez. She's never done that before, EliteAri. Don't tell me otherwise.
That's very true. Yeah. It's never happened.
They hold hands a lot. It's always soy, and I don't like it.
But
Especially
arm
why they
grabbing
got
is
gloved
different.
hands on when they're holding hands. It's domesticating shopping behavior, EliteAri.
We love it. Okay. Then they go to the house and they have a bath. They're sitting in the bath and they're talking. And
We
Rudy.
just skipped over trying on clothes.
Well, I guess I mentioned they tried the clothes. We talked about it already. Kyle said it looked weird and he didn't like it.
No,
yeah.
I didn't say I didn't like it. I just said I noticed something about
yeah,
the texture or something.
He did say that.
Now, didn't they do something else?
I think they just got they went to the
clothes?
Yeah, they went clothes shopping.
Yeah.
They got a discount because Luke is like a patron of the place and he makes sure they're supported well.
Oh, that was a cute little detail. This fucking pretty boy loser Luke, he's always shopping and stuff. Makes sense because he's lame.
Yep.
And we hate him.
Okay.
They bought like a pig head or something.
A pig head?
Yeah, there was like a pig little head, and they were like they pointed at it and said, "I want that." There was like a bunch of them in one shot.
Oh, there was like one
Embarrassingly, EliteAri
famous
doesn't
shot
remember.
that everyone was tweeting out before because it's a volume cover of volume 10. Maybe it's probably that, I guess.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yep. But that was cool. Was I in the middle of saying something? I don't even remember. Oh, I know the cloak. Yeah.
You moved on.
Yeah, he talks about how stuff from the Demon Continent is expensive or whatever. Because
Yeah.
But you know what I want to say? All right. When he put on the new cloak and he's like, "Oh, this looks really good," I'm like, "Is there a difference from the old one?" I couldn't even tell. To me, they just look the same.
It looks very similar. It just looks black, so it's cool.
And I know people freak out. They're like, "Oh my god, Rudy got his like new cloak or whatever." And I'm like, I didn't know he actually got a new cloak. That's crazy. I just thought he had the same one all the time. Anyway. Yeah, they're sitting in the bath. They go home. They're sitting in the bath. They're talking. And Rudy, he's worried. He's like, "Oh my god, what if I run out of money? Like, oh Jesus, do I have to be an adventurer again? Or what if I die? I can't do that." And Sylvie says she's been saving up her wages from Ariel, which is fantastic. And then Sylvie talks about how she like of the duties that they have to perform, she'll be able to cook because she learned from Rudy's mum and from Lilia. And then Rudy gets turned on and they run into their bed and have sex. So yeah.
Now, EliteAri. There was something before that. It wasn't just the cooking stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, they were talking about money.
What was the predicamentum? Yeah. I was trying to think the moment before he grabbed her and ran upstairs, EliteAri. Now, there's two things.
Yeah.
Well, let's just forget it. I'm probably wrong. The cook. Oh my god, EliteAri, we hate Mushoku Tensei. These traditional gender roles make me sick.
Wait, of what? Of the cooking. Okay.
Yeah,
True.
and the money thing.
Well,
okay,
no. Wait, we have to talk about the cooking thing because cooking. I don't remember if this was in the anime. I think it was, but that was a big element of Geese, right? Like Geese was a. I don't know if I remember the details. Yeah, but he was the thing about he knew how to cook really well, and that was like one of his important skills in being an adventurer.
That's how he got laid and stuff. Yeah.
Now people are they're gonna get angry in the comments. They're gonna be like, "Ari, that's not right. Geese hated cooking or something." But it's an important detail, right? There is something to do with cooking, and Geese is a man and a reverse gender role. Blah blah blah. Okay, so we like Mushoku Tensei again.
Yeah, except he was only using it to get laid, so it's sexist anyway.
Maybe.
fuck, there was something genius about cooking and stuff. EliteAri, old Kyle Entertainment would have been like, you can't do that. All gender roles are bad. Now, post-relationship, I'm like, well, somebody's got to fucking cook, and it's not going to be me.
Yeah. And she's
So
also
I guess
proud of
I
her
can
cooking
just do
skills.
that,
She
you know?
learned, from Lilia and
There are things like that,
cook.
and it is like, yeah, it's like the grocery shopping thing. Because initially, when that happened to me in real life later, I was like, this is fucking weird. I don't like this. This feels very traditional. I don't like it. But then you get over to EliteAri. So this is how everybody works, EliteAri. When you're a little boy, you're coming into adulthood, and you're like, I'm not gonna do it this way. I hate the world. I hate society, and I hate tradition. And none of this is gonna work. And then slowly, you have real life experience, and you're beaten down, EliteAri, and you lose your hopeful ideals, and you just become a member of society. You're like, yes, she will cook for me, and I guess I'll go to work. Yep. And EliteAri, the other day, no, I'm not gonna make it that direct, EliteAri. Sometimes,
Yes.
Sometimes my girlfriend might jokingly say when I'm going to work, she'll say, "Make me some fucking money." And it'll be like a little funny, and she's kind of half joking, but she's kind of not. Because EliteAri, she's like way richer than me, and she pays for stuff when we're together and stuff. But then it's like, oh. But then you're like, you even though it's like a little funny joke and stuff, you're like, you have this little pride thing where you're like, oh, I'm gonna go make some money. This is great for our family. Yeah. And you just get beaten down, EliteAri. You forget your ideals.
Oh my god!
And you just become just like everybody else. That's how the world
You feel
works.
important. You feel part of a structure of a society.
You get blackmailed
and the
through
nuclear
feelings
family.
into yes, nuclear family good. I want a picket white fence and dinner on the table when I get home, EliteAri.
Yes. Wow.
I hate it, but I guess I like it. So this tied into Mushoku Tensei somehow, EliteAri. Oh, that's why I don't hate it, EliteAri. I'm like, oh, I guess that is true and stuff. True to life and descriptively real. Even though I hate it.
Perfect. Yep. They have sex.
Oh, and then they have sex and stuff. I remember, EliteAri, one of the first things I ever said about Mushoku Tensei when I was shitting on it, that first one we ever did, it was great. We need to go back to that. I was like, there was one scene where Paul poked, what's her name? Zenith, the underground dragon girl. Captured by a dragon. She's not actually a dragon. You understand.
I understand.
Where he poked her on the butt while she was gardening, and then they were like, and they were going to go fuck, but then Rudy interrupted him or something. Classic. I was like, oh my god, that's so cute. You never see that in shows where they have little moments that spur on sexual activity, that are little cute moments like that, instead of just like, their door shuts behind him and they kiss in like a movie or something. Lame. So this was another moment like that, and I was like, I guess Mushoku Tensei still has it. But then I remember being like, oh, it was kind of for a lame reason, which was probably the cooking thing or something that turned him on. And I was like, And then also I was like, they have to make the sex goofy for us to take it seriously. And then I was like, that is kind of descriptively real too, I guess. And it was another ideal falling thing. So I'm just I'm at absolute conflict with myself and the world while watching this terrible show, EliteAri.
Well, guess what, Kyle?
Most descriptively real thing of all time.
I went back to the episode and I just had a look. And the thing that makes Rudy want to have sex is that Sylphie's like, I love you, and then kisses him on the cheek. And he's like, oh no, it's happening. And then...
yeah.
Yep, so that's, Okay. Yeah. So then, the rest of the episode is the weddings. Oh, the wedding reception or whatever they call it. So, of the people who were invited, Genius refused, which is pretty funny. Soldat was busy. And Batagati, he's a demon, so he'll probably show up like a month late or something, because to him, he lives eternity, and, time is really bad when you live for eternity. And everyone else shows up. It's perfect. Then Rudius gives a formal and stiff speech about getting married, and then out of nowhere, Batagati shows up, because among his people...
Oh my god, I didn't see this one coming when
royals must always arrive
when
least expected. Absolutely.
Whoa, EliteAri, there's like a Rudy characterization thing that's gone over my head that I only vaguely remember. People are always getting mad at him for talking too formally, right? And that happened again.
Sure, actually, that's interesting. I'd never really thought about that. That does happen to Rudy quite a lot. Because it's always a first situation for him. Because he doesn't know how to get married in this world. Like, he doesn't, sure.
I think because it's kind of like you're not being your real self thing. It's kind of like an imposter syndrome thing, because he's a fucking 35-year-old man, EliteAri. So
Kyle, that's like
that's what's being played at.
This is one of the greatest things you've ever said, Kyle. I think this would make a great scripted video, because I don't think anyone's ever said this before. Yeah. Okay. I might take your
everybody said it before, because it's going to pay off in a giant moment towards the end of EliteAri. You're spoiling everything by omission. You're embarrassing yourself.
All right. Well,
So now I know that doesn't happen.
Either way, yeah.
I'll hold on, EliteAri. I just remembered her name was Sarah. Can I get some recognition?
Well done. I think it's Sarah in the anime, but yeah, I call her Sarah.
I was going to say, I thought I was slightly wrong, so that was set up for you to correct me.
Yes.
There was something else to say. What did you say? Badagadari or whatever?
Badagadari shows up months late, but he shows up when you least expect it. They made a line about, among my people, royals must always arrive when least expected.
Yes. Do you think that was a meta joke? Because obviously we all knew he would show up immediately right after they set that up, just like traditional narratives. And Mushoku Tensei is actually Chainsaw Man with its Chainsaw Man appeal.
I actually have no idea, because I don't know what I would think if I was like watching this for the first time. If he just wouldn't show up, or he'd show up months later, or I have no idea. So, well, I'm glad you thought that, Kyle. But yeah, it was cute. You know, he helped Rudy out. He like makes it less awkward by telling him to just speak his mind. You know.
Yeah, and then he winked at him.
Yeah, it was great. They're like best buddies, you know, after he like almost killed him.
Well, not really, because, you know, they didn't really show much of it in the anime, and the light novel's just so much better, and the whole world was going to come and arrest him, and then he just became a student or something.
Very true. Yes. There was an interesting thing in the... I was reading, because I reread the light novel, you know, just for this one wedding stuff, because there's a lot of details here. Something interesting was mentioned that Rudy was like going over how important like each of these guests are, and like how you need to like accommodate each of them in order. And to him, the most important to accommodate was like Badagardi, because he's like an immortal demon king or whatever, and currently in power. And then second was Ariel. But intuitively, I would have thought, oh, he'd probably think Ariel is more important because she's like the queen of like his like kind of country. But no, to him, Badagardi was like more important to accommodate. So that was kind of interesting.
Yeah,
anyway,
he's cooler.
Yeah, small light level details, you know. Then we have a bunch of details.
Something
here.
You brought up then remind me of something I've forgotten earlier to bring up now, but then I forgot it again.
Is it about Kishirika?
Demon component. Kishirika. No, but he's married to that girl.
True.
Engaged or something.
Yeah, engaged.
Promised to, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, and no, it wasn't about that girl. Kishirika or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It was when we were reiterating on your episode point about how that didn't happen in that one episode and everything sucks and Mushoku Tensei fell off and the whole world was coming down on him. I'm never gonna remember it all.
All right, perfect. So at the wedding reception, everyone's eating food and they're having a good time, and one by one they all go and approach the new couple and they all say some stuff. So
I thought they were all leaving.
This is like before they leave. They're like, while the wedding, they just gave the speech and they're all staying. Oh, you thought that was what was happening when
in the moment, yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. No, they were just talking. You know. So Ariel approaches and she tells Sylphie that she can have a year off from working. So that's what she says. Then Luke
maternity leave. Sylphie says.
Oh yeah, she's like, yeah, I'll save it for when I have a kid or whatever. Luke gives a very awkward thing of, he says, I'm sure you still have hard feelings, but let's try to get along. And then Rudy's just like, I don't have any issues with him, but okay. Then Julie and Zainuba bow, or Julie like curtsies or whatever the word is, and Zainuba bows, and they thank them for inviting them and congratulate them on their wedding. Linnea and Persona, they say they're happy to see two strong people get together because strong people have strong kids and they'll keep their tribe safe. And then Nanahoshi just says, omedeto, or congratulations.
Wait, so Linnea and Persona were at the beginning, that was when they wanted to fuck him, right? And not here. Because at some point they were like, oh my god, he's in heat, let's fuck him.
Wait, I think that was at the beginning of the episode, of last episode,
the first episode.
Yeah. Yep. Anyway, yeah, Nanahoshi says congratulations, and Sylphie asks what she meant when we talked about this, when she said that Rudy came from the same place.
Oh, it's crazy. Greatest moment of the 2 episodes.
Yep, and Nanahoshi, she said that she just assumed that was the case because Rudy understood her language, so Nanahoshi not saying nothing.
What a neat little lie.
Yeah.
You can't be lying in relationships, leader. This is going to come back narratively. You know, it has to.
Perhaps, yeah. Okay.
God, what a twist it would be. It's okay, Rudy. I'm from Japan, too.
That would be pretty crazy, wouldn't it? Okay. Cliff.
That's how they get around the pedophile accusations too. Oh. Get out of jail free card.
Yeah. Cliff says a prayer in front of the new couple because, you know, he's like religious and all that. That was cool. Then Elite, this is important. Elite, she goes up to Sylphie and she's congratulating her, and then she starts crying. And Kyle, it turns out that she is Sylphie's grandmother. Did you see that?
Now, EliteAri, when this was revealed, something clicked in my head where I was like, oh yeah, EliteAri giggled about this one time. And I don't remember if you ever did or if I just made that up. But
I think it would have been...
It about the pendants, I think.
Yeah,
It must have
exactly.
said like, "Oh, did you know that? Did you recognize the pendant?" And I would have been like, "No, kill yourself." And then you were like,
Yep, I
I
think
was like,
that's
"Oh,
exactly what it was. Um,
yeah."
so yeah, it's crazy.
Somebody that's watched all of our discussions, our most loyal fan who watches them all, on every 3 months they rewatch them all,
Mhm.
knows exactly the timestamp in the episode in which that interaction happened, and they will leave it in the comment section below this one.
Thank you. I guess this is the one series where we actually get comments, so someone could do that. I don't know.
Yes, we're famous.
Yeah.
Fuck,
Yeah, I
there was something
guess.
else to say about this.
Well, the important thing is this is basically a lot of Alignalized characterization. You know, there's
Oh
more
yeah,
to
remember when we used to speak EliteAri where I was like, oh, Alana is just being a free whore. This is a great character, EliteAri. Mushoku Tensei is progressive. It says no to slut shaming. But then slowly EliteAri started to become the case that, oh no, we're going to end up saying that this isn't good and going to give like 3 different traumatic reasons why she ended up this way, and she's going to slowly come out of it, and we're going to reveal that she's actually a good guy or something. We're morally pure and she didn't want this. That's what's happening, EliteAri. We're ruining it. She's with her little boyfriend now, and she's gonna cure. They're gonna cure her, even though she doesn't need to be cured from
well,
being
she
a
does.
whore, EliteAri.
She dies.
But EliteAri is gonna bring up this silly narrative thing about how we're gonna die and nonsense.
Don't
there
you
was
think
more
it would
here
be
where
more
she-
interesting, Kyle, if she is cured and she still wants to have sex? Wouldn't that be more
Now that
like
would be fantastic, but she's just gonna want to have sex with the little dweeb boy. Oh, lame. Monogamy is going to be the answer to all of life's problems in Mushoku Tensei. Yuck. Anyway, the other point is that she runs away because she doesn't want them to have the reputation of their mother doing OnlyFans. Oh no! Shut up.
Well, it's not exactly that.
Holy shit.
I think it's the fact that Alignalize has gotten into trouble with like people in the past, like powerful people or whatever, and important people, and she's obviously very old. You know, she's an elf or whatever. So she doesn't want her reputation to kind of damage her kids' lives, I guess. So it doesn't say, it says more, it says entirely about her perspective of herself, not the show's perspective, I guess. Yeah, she sees herself
it's not
as a
about
bad
being
person, I guess.
sex positive EliteAri. It's about that she pissed off a bad guy one time.
Yeah, maybe. It might also be with the fact that she sleeps around and maybe upsets people when she leaves because she's only using them for her curse or whatever.
Oh my goodness.
Could be anything.
This is what it's got to be. But anyway.
Yep. So Alignalized, she has a mental breakdown basically because she's never really. I guess she explains later that she cried because she saw Sylphie happy, one of her kids happy, you know, or grandchildren, I guess. Yeah. All right. Then everyone heads home after the wedding, and the episode's over. However,
no, they have a fight.
Yeah. So Sylphie, she takes Alignalized to her room, and then Ariel talks to Rudy. And she wants him to duel Luke.
Hold on, EliteAri. There's a little witty anecdote where I was like, oh, at some point, Sylphie's like, oh, I have a question for Alignalize. I thought it was going to be the Danny scene where she's like, I need to learn how to fuck good, and I'm going to ask Alignalize, and we're going to get a lesbian scene. I would have bet my whole entire life on it, EliteAri, but no, it was because it was, are you my grandma?
Yep. That would have been a really strange moment for her to ask her when she's crying. I don't know, but you know what? I guess it could have been.
Well, yeah. Well, we didn't know she was going to be crying. She said she wanted to ask her something previously, EliteAri. My goodness.
Oh, okay. I know what you mean. Way earlier in the episode. See, sorry, I'm just so slow on keeping up with your intense logic here. Yes.
That's what we call it.
Yes.
Logic.
So, Ariel talks to Rudy. She wants him to duel Luke. The two of them duel, and Rudy wins. Turns out they all care for Sylphie, and they want to make sure that Rudy can take care of her. So, Kyle, I think I've brought this up in every damn trailer, Mushoku Tensei light novel spoiler video I've ever made on EliteAri, where I talk about, oh my god, the Luke fight, oh my god, the Luke fight's coming up, it's coming up, season 2 part, whatever, it's coming up, finally I can see it, oh my god, it's in the trailer, it looks so good in the trailer. I think the animation was amazing. Production-wise, it was fantastic. It's obviously the highlight of maybe all of Mushoku Tensei season 2 so far, in terms of animation. Which was a shock to me because this scene in the novel, I said this in my pre-season thoughts video, but I didn't realize that people actually thought this was an important scene. I thought this was something that when I read through it, like stuck to me personally, but no one else is even going to remember this scene. But no, they put a lot of effort in it for the actual anime, and I think it really deserves it because this is the height of Luke's character here. I think it's the most important thing he's done so far, and it really characterizes him. So. Yeah. Okay. First, before I say what I took from it, what do you take from this scene? What does this say about Luke? Like, what do you think's going on here?
Absolutely nothing. We just did the soy thing where you're like, oh, we don't want to give her up. We need to make sure you're strong enough to protect her. And then Rudy, who I didn't even know was good at swords, just beats up the bodyguard dude. Lame.
Yep. Okay, that's an interesting perspective. So my initial, okay, I've got details from the light novel, but my initial, what I like about this scene in the light novel is that it's a complete reframing of Luke, because we, up to this point, as far as I remember, I could be wrong because I don't remember the
Hold on,
details.
before you spoil it.
Mm.
I guess maybe I was supposed to be it was supposed to be ambiguous whether or not Luke liked Sylvie or something, and this is
Hmm.
supposed to be the reveal that, oh well, he actually did care the whole time. But I had completely forgotten. I just assumed they were like brothers or something and stuff because they hang out with each other a lot.
Hmm. Yeah, I guess I can say when I'm watching the anime, what I really take from this scene, without any light novel context, is that Luke probably cares for like Sylvie and wants her to be happy and everything. So he's like testing Rudy, right? He's testing Rudy so that he can Rudy look after her, blah blah blah, etc. That's what I get from Luke in this scene, right? Now, in the light novel, I think the difference is that you get before the fight, during the fight, and after the fight, you get internal monologue from Rudy, especially during the fight. And I think all of the stuff that was internally going on in Rudy's mind during the fight is completely cut out of the anime. Now, I think you can infer it still, so it's not like it's nothing crazy. I think to remove it, like this isn't like a bad scene per se. I think it just doesn't capture what I liked about it. However, the funny thing is that the actual manga does actually capture this stuff better than I think the anime does, which is interesting. But what we get is that
Superior version.
before the fight starts, Rudy basically describes Luke, and he talks about how he's basically covered in like all of these different magical implements, and he like lists them all, and he has like boots that can like make him like move super fast, and he's wearing like a undergarment that can like protect against sword swings, and he's like talking about all this magical stuff that he couldn't even possibly afford if he like sold his house right now, because he's like working for the princess and he's like decked out fully, and he's got all this crazy stuff. And then when they're fighting, the immediate thought that Rudy has, like the first thought he has as soon as they jump, is that, oh my god, I can't believe he's so slow. He's like, wow, I wasn't expecting this. And he talks about how
He lost on purpose. Oh my god.
well, he says that like basically even with all these magical things, he's slow. And then he like he catches himself and he's like, actually, I guess he's not that slow. He's average, but he's no match for like anyone like Soldat or Eris or especially Rujert or anything like that. And it kind of, to me, it reframes Luke completely, because up until this point, we haven't seen Luke fight, but he has been the guard of this princess, right? Who's an important person. And Sylvie obviously respects him, and they're both the guards and everything, and we know how strong Sylvie is. So I just expected he would be incredibly strong at this point. And to see him be framed completely from Rudy's perspective as like average, or even, below average compared to all the other people he's ever seen, was very, I guess, humbling, but in a very cute way, because it humbles him as this. I guess we go from seeing him as a bodyguard who is valued for being a bodyguard to him being involved in all this stuff with Ariel because he sees her as a friend. And he's not special at all. He's not particularly powerful, but he cares about her, and that's why she has him by his side. And I think that's really a lot of Luke characterization going on there. And especially, like, there's two other things. I guess there's one other thing, which is that after the fight, Sylvie, like when Sylvie and Rudy talk about it later, which I think this is also cut out of the anime, but I don't remember. Rudy
spoiling the beginning of next episode.
No, this is definitely not going to happen. But Sylvie basically says, "Thank you for going easy on Luke. He's weak. You'd kill him if you used your full strength." So it's like it even frames it as though Ariel and Sylvie, both of them, also know that Luke is weak. So it's not like they see him as incredibly strong, and this was a disheartening moment where like, oh my god, Luke's like pathetic. Yeah. It's like they've known all along that he's weak, and they don't value him for his strength. They value him because he's a person who cares about them and is looking after them, regardless of being weak. So I think this scene completely is it makes Luke's character, just like the Paul scene in episode 3 makes Paul's character. I think. Yeah, this is one of the best scenes in the light novel, I think. Now, I think you can still extract this stuff. Like it's more implicit in the anime, which I think also. I think it's better they did it this way, rather than like slowing it down and giving like an internal monologue or anything you do in like some cliche like action scene or whatever. They did it well. It's just, the details I liked aren't there. So yeah, there we go.
Nah, I think they should have done an internal monologue where we slow down at the very beginning. He's like, oh, he's slow.
I mean, that also could have been cool. In the manga, they have this is like the one thing I've seen from the manga, which is that they have a shot of Luke running towards Rudius, and you see it from Rudius's perspective, and next to that you've got Eris and Rujerd that are like way closer and have like advanced ahead of him or whatever. So that's a cool visual. But anyway,
now when you're doing your little monologue there, I was like, oh, so he's only in the position he is because he comes from a rich family and he's actually a little dork. But you're like, oh no, because he actually cares about him. So that's not even cool.
Well,
Does he care about him? Am I supposed to know this? I guess he's hanging out with them.
He is a like he comes from I guess maybe nobility. No, probably not nobility, but he comes from an important family, the Noto Scrayrat family. Like we saw Polemon Noto Scrayrat with him, with Ariel when in that like episode 0 or whatever.
Bald man.
So yeah, he is there. Maybe he knows Ariel because of that. But yeah, it's not like he's strong or anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess if you thought, thinking he was strong the whole time, and then it turns out he's not. I just thought it was like Lamau, Rudy's still the strongest, and even this super strong guy can't do nothing to him. That's crazy. That's what I took from this scene.
Interesting. Okay.
But I didn't take any like, oh, this is different, or we're finding out something here. So, and I pick up on everything. I'm a genius. I understand all subtext at all times. So therefore, the anime fails.
Well, what did you think of the action, Kyle? Did it look good? Did you agree with me that it's probably the best produced thing?
I know, it was kind of cool. There was like 2 movements, right? Because there was like, oh, he knocks a thing out, and then Luke says, oh, he's not dead, and then he's already there again. And I thought, oh, well, that was pretty cool, I guess.
Yep. Again, Mushoku Tensei, some of the best action in any anime I've seen. I love it.
No, there was only one great action scene. It was when that dog and geese were fighting that one dude.
Oh my god!
Anybody could have died, EliteAri. That was crazy.
True.
The dog was going to die. Geese was going to die because he was too good of a character. Until he ruined his character by being a Paul simp.
Absolutely. Yep. Okay. Well, after the fight, Ariel, she says again. I think we talked about this earlier. Ariel says that she doesn't want Sylphie to return.
I remember a little anecdote from previous to this because the way they handle the duel and the tone changes a little bit. So now I understand that it's like a subversion because you think there's going to be this epic duel and then he just beats him immediately. It was another because I guess I guess I respect Mushoku Tensei enough to be on edge a little bit, EliteAri, because I was like, oh, this is going to be like turning point 375. He's gonna kill Luke or some shit. Because obviously Rudy isn't dying, and if he does die, he's gonna come back to life again. Remember, the man God, he like did this thing, and that Orsted fella, he beat him up or something.
Yep.
But what's gonna happen is stop turning off the laptop. You're freaking me the fuck out. Now I lost my train.
What's going to happen with Luke? Turning point 3.75?
Oh, I thought he was going to kill like Luke, and Sylphie's going to come out and be like, what happened? And she's going to like hate Rudy and leave or something, and that was going to get ruined. Or the tone changed, and I was like, oh, here we go. Some crazy twist is coming. But it didn't happen. But I think, maybe I'm just imagining it, or maybe we are sort of teasing it with that and the Zenoba moment in the previous episode to get us, maybe something is happening soon in these little fake outs. Or maybe I'm just paranoid. What would I be paranoid about? I don't give a fuck.
Very true. I guess we'll have to see.
That's what I care about.
Wait, you care about what? Eris what?
Eris is going to show up.
Oh, okay.
They're going to reunion at some point.
Interesting.
It's going to be in season 4, but it's going to happen. She's going to be cool and older, and she's going to have 3 boyfriends and Ghislaine, and she's going to say, Rudy, you're a little cuck. I don't like you at all anymore.
Wouldn't that be something? Okay.
I heard you cheated on Sylphie, bitch. I hate you now. You're not worth nothing. And she kicks him in the dick. No, when she shows up, she's going to be the strongest swordsman in the world, and she's going to have beaten Rujid and stuff.
Whoa.
She's not showing up until the end, EliteAri. I already predicted this last time. We're going to cuck us the whole thing. It's the big, like, what's happening in the basement thing. It's the big everlasting thingy. You never thought they would get split up. They were main characters together for a whole first season, and then you just don't see him forever. It's like Uncle Benjamin coming back, you know?
Yes, true. That was a hype moment. Oh my gosh.
Then he died.
Yeah. Okay. So Eris is
Ghislaine is still with her, right, or something? They left together?
Yeah, the last thing we saw of them was, she was with Ghislaine. She's like,
she cut her hair off.
Rudy, I love you. And she like yelled it into the distance and cut her hair and stuff. And yeah. All right. So Ariel says she doesn't want Sylphie to return to Azura with her. But if Sylphie refuses to stay here, then Rudy should step in and keep her here. So this was mentioned like a few times throughout these episodes of Ariel having to go back soon.
Okay, another thing we're setting up, EliteAri. So they're going to get a note one day. Princess Ariel assassinated in critical condition. I guess that doesn't mean assassinated. And Sylphie's going to want to go. And there's going to be conflict there because Rudy's going to be like, no, you can't go. And then there's going to be he's not going to tell her why she can't go. And there's going to be a little misunderstanding. And then he's going to be like, but the princess told me, and she's going to be like, oh, that is something the princess would say. I'm going to stay here where it's safe. Oh, that's because at that point, the world's been taken over by the evil guys. Okay, EliteAri, we're writing the whole thingy. Princess Ariel, or whatever the fuck her name is, Lamau from Disney. She's going to become queen and stuff. But the moment she becomes queen, the bad guys come down and take over the whole world again. And there's only one safe place, just like Salat's hangout in Berserk, where Ricket's going. except he didn't go there because now he's on a boat and with guts. Spoiler alert for the most recent chapter. Lame. We hate Berserk.
All right.
There's one little safe spot, and it's the house leader. We got a magic circle around it, and she's like, "I gotta go see the princess," and that's how that conflict is gonna come about. God, I can write everything.
Jesus, well done.
How close am I? Just tell me. Just let me know.
Well, the house has a gate around it. I don't know. Yeah, true. Yeah.
It's gonna be like the Spiderwick Chronicles leader. You remember that?
Not at all. Not even a little bit.
I don't remember much about it at all, but there's a little line around it, and the goblins can't get in. And then at the end of the movie, they get in, but then they beat them anyway. I think with like tomato sauce or something.
I don't even know what you're referring to. Is some book or something? I don't know.
Spiderwick Chronicles leader. You never seen the movie or read the books? I don't think so. Or the new TV series that's coming out soon.
Oh yeah, that time I got reincarnated as a spider or whatever it is. So I'm a spider, so what? Whatever. No, I haven't.
This isn't a fucking anime, leader. This is a real show for real boys.
Yep. Anyway, so there's actually one thing when you're talking about Ariel, which I don't remember if I've mentioned this before or not, but it's a light novel detail, and I'm like fairly sure it's already been mentioned. So, you know, I could be spoiling something very small if it does get revealed later, so I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
So everyone skip ahead if for some reason I've forgotten it. It's like way later or they reveal it or whatever. But do you remember Lilia, the maid, in like
we love
episode
Lilia,
1 or 2 or 3, whatever, like those early stuff? Aisha's mum.
And episode like 23?
yeah, way later on, yeah. I don't even know if we get this in the anime, but we learned that back in the day she used to be a guard, basically. Like that was her duty. She was training with Paul. Remember how her backstory with Paul? They were training the sword or whatever, and
in the barracks or something.
In the what?
He raped her.
Yeah, apparently raped her. And then she went on to be a guard, basically, and then she got poisoned in like an assassination attempt, and then she had to retire, basically. That's like Lilia's backstory. And then she went and she found Paul, and she worked for Paul, basically. Now, what we find later, at least in the light novel, when they talk about it from Ariel's perspective, is that she was guarding the second princess. So basically, Lilia was Ariel's ex-guard when Ariel was like very young, like a kid or a baby or whatever. So that was a kind of cool like little character overlap thing there that I don't think the anime really talks about. So yeah,
no, feels like that would be important. Yes, and Alita, you spoiled that.
Yeah, but no, get revealed later.
Something just jogged into my memory, literally, where I think maybe I got spoiled on one tiny thing about Lilia or something. And I think it might have been on a stream of yours, but I usually don't listen. But it was like a Lilia Paul backstory thing.
Interesting. Well, I can't say anything.
But I can't recall now. Or maybe I saw it it was a line in the trailer, or I read a comment underneath the trailer or something. I don't remember. But I don't remember the exact spoiler, so I was like, oh, is the leader going to say the thing?
Not at all.
But I guess it's not.
All right. So Sylphie and Eleinalize, they've had their talk, and Eleinalize is feeling better now. And it turns out that Eleinalize has a troubled past due to her personality and her curse. And she also has many kids, but always cuts ties once they get old enough to look after themselves. And she broke down seeing Sylphie so happy. So yeah, she clearly hates herself, basically. And Cliff says that this makes him love Eleinalize even more. She is more thoughtful and delicate than he ever imagined. And he asks Rudy to help him with lifting her curse. So cute relationship stuff.
We're friends, ain't we? Shut up.
I saw a lot of people on the anime subreddit for this episode. They all, like, Cliff was like the focus of discussion here. Everyone really liked Cliff. They're like, oh my gosh, look at him. He's such a good guy.
They were on Reddit.
Yep. I love Cliff as well. This is cute. Cliff is a cute character.
EliteAri's track record with characters is pretty poor, so of course he would like this man.
True. Asamitaka, Powder from Arcane, Flint from Black Sails. Oh, these are all great characters.
Powder.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah. Go ahead.
There was something I was. Oh, we should. I can't believe I don't get to look at Reddit for this one.
Yeah, definitely not. The Mushoku Tensei subreddit situation is a complete mess, Kyle. There's the anime subreddit, you know, obviously we get the nice like mainstream like thread about people discussing the episodes. Then we have the Mushoku Tensei subreddit that is completely abandoned, and I don't think it has any moderation team whatsoever. Like literally, I don't think it's like a joke. I think there's just no moderation team. And they don't post like episode discussion threads even on there as far as I'm aware. Then there's the Six-Faced World subreddit, which is like full of like light novel readers, and it's entirely spoilers and everything. But that does get like a discussion thread.
World.
Don't go to it. It's a spoiler subreddit basically.
Well, now what does that mean?
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, so yeah, there's a mess. You know, it probably would be better if there was just one subreddit, Mushoku Tensei. You know,
Tensei folk coming leader. That's what you need.
Yeah, I don't think the fandom is big enough for that.
People admitting that they do like it because it's a pedophile show. It'll be great.
You know what? I could see that being a thing. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, so I always had the cliff thing. Sylphie. Oh yeah, then we had this cute exchange at the end, Kyle, where Sylphie says that she's thinking about growing her hair out. Isn't that cute? She talks
Oh my
about
god, it's
how.
the inverse of Eris. Oh my god, this is crazy. I didn't even think about that.
Oh,
It's
I didn't
crazy.
either. That is pretty. That's great. But well, I guess the significance here
It's
is
also
that
domestication again.
true it
She's
is.
going to be a
Yeah.
housewife. She has to have long hair. Though if you're having kids, you might want to keep that hair short. You know, you're going to be vomiting a lot. Stupid.
Mm-hmm. Well, the significance here, Kyle, is that she used to have green hair and she used to hate it because she used to get bullied and it was like a demon, like super color
Yeah,
or
she
whatever.
was a little spurred little shit, and
yeah.
we throw mud at her.
So now that it's not green anymore, she's happy to like grow it out and be herself. You know, she's more confident in herself because her hair isn't green anymore.
So, EliteAri, one time she was falling through the air and her hair just changed. Remember that? That was crazy.
True.
What the fuck's up with that?
Yeah. Well, I think, yeah. I'm pretty sure they're not going to explain it at this point because they should have done it by now. But yeah, it's because she used all her mana or whatever. She like ran out completely. Like she was trying to.
Oh yeah, you already said that one time.
Yeah.
The what was I gonna say?
Something important, I'm sure.
Oh, well, the real reason EliteAri is because she's got to be in disguise, so we can have a review when she shows up later, and because this is a silly light novel, and it's
that's probably also true. Yeah. But that disguise didn't work on me because I'd seen season 1 and she's at the end of season 1. So as soon as I saw her there, I was like, oh my god, this is the character we're following in this light novel.
Oh my god, I always forget that EliteAri's origin story with everything is I watched the first bit of the anime first.
Mm-hmm.
What a loser. Mushoku Tensei, Chainsaw Man. There's another one too.
I don't even know. Something. Probably Attack on Titan.
I think I'm thinking of Jarkey Bacon watching Vinland Saga's anime before reading it.
Like oh my gosh. Jesus. He's just like me. Crazy. Okay. The last note, Kyle. Sylvie says that she's going to have to work hard so that Rudy will keep loving her. And then Rudy says he'll have to work hard so that she doesn't fall out of love with him. And then the episode ends.
No, they're just going to get used to each other. And then they won't be able to imagine life without each other. And then like 7 years in, they'll be like, wait, I don't actually have to be here. And they'll get divorced.
Mm-hmm. That would be interesting.
See, that's not even personal experience yet, EliteAri. I'm not at that point yet.
Yep. You're 7 years away. So we're getting there. 7 is an important number in this universe, Kyle. Remember the 7 great powers?
Yeah.
Remember Nanahoshi?
Nanahoshi.
Silent 7-star.
Orsted.
No, wait, no. Jesus. Number 1 is the Technique God. Number 2 is the Dragon God.
But the Dragon God would actually beat the Technique God in a
fight. Very true. Look at you remembering the details. That's great. Anyway, okay. I guess I actually
imagine if I had this good of a memory with a good series. My goodness.
True. Yeah, like the light novels. Imagine if you read the light novels and knew all the details in it. That'd be so good. And then you can make videos and people would like give you so many views because they love light novel videos.
Well, EliteAri, I have you know that my upcoming Devilman video will be getting many views.
Well done. So I'm actually just going over my notes now because I did make them, but I forgot to add them here. Let's see. For the first episode, I like the way that the doll was revealed from coming from the ceiling, where you just see its hands like out of the roof, and I'm like, oh my god, it's so creepy. The hands there, oh my god, and then it like sticks its head out. That was cool. I can't say any of these. Oh my god, Rudy. Oh, okay.
With slurs and sexism, and he's just thought better of himself now.
I do also have to make a comparison here, which is that since the last time, season 2, and now Freeren has aired, and I'm like 15 episodes into Freeren.
I love Freeren. It looks so much better than Mushoku Tensei.
Yeah, which is the thing to say is that they're both very similar in terms of their setting. They're both like fantasy series with similar magics, not similar magics, but they both have magic in it. And obviously Freeren puts this to shame. Like it's not even close. It's crazy. Freeren is like season 1 levels of Mushoku Tensei, which is such a shame, to see. Yeah, I wish season 2 was the same as season 1, but it's not. Now episode 14.
Exactly the same. Everybody in chat will agree with me in the comment section. They're all like, yes, season 1 looks exactly the same as season 2.
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking about? Well, we'll just wait, EliteAri. Season 2 of Freeren will look like shit too.
Maybe, yeah. Okay. I don't want to be too harsh. What else? Let's see. The pendant, the colors, mentioned the colors. The last thing. I like the shot when you see it's like right toward the end of this episode. Oh, it's even the shot we're using here as the background image to our discussion. I love it. It's like they open their doors to their house and they see like the whole Sharia city in front of them. It's cute. Really good view from their house. So Yeah.
Remember EliteAri when there was like they said something about how this city was designed to not have walkways or something? Wasn't there something about
Yeah, it was
that?
designed like a maze to prevent foreign armies from invading.
Oh, I thought there was like a mystery or something, where it's like, oh, it seems like there was water here in the past or something, and it's like a big little world mystery or something. But I guess it's just to avoid invaders. It's like when there were fucking skyscrapers on that one city. Crazy.
Very true.
We're in the future, EliteAri. It's not an isekai to another world.
Perhaps.
We're all Japanese.
All right. Well.
Oh my god, EliteAri, picture this. Little what the fuck is his name? Rudius. He's in a little library one. And he finds a super old book, and it's just all written in Japanese, and he's like, soy, what is this? And then we find out that it's been time travel the whole time. Oh, that would be sweet.
I guess we'll have to wait right until the epilogue of this story to see what happens. You know, wouldn't that be
EliteAri, no, the epilogue's about Yamiya. You already spoiled that one.
Interesting.
I watched that video, remember? Oh, we still haven't found the evil girl that's going to be good in the end, and she's like she's in government and she's old, but she's actually a good guy. I don't remember how she's a good guy, but it got spoiled to me in EliteAri's video. What an idiot.
Interesting.
Was that video all about Mushoku Tensei, where there was like 3 Mushoku Tensei examples, or was it? Oh my god, I don't remember the other 2.
The title
Have
was.
I seen any of the other 2 yet?
Mushoku Tensei is anticlimactic.
Anticlimax.
And you haven't seen any of those 3. You've seen. I don't think of all of my videos of Mushoku Tensei, like light novel stuff. You have seen nothing, with the exception of the one about Paul. That's the only one you've seen, but that's an anime video.
Yeah, Soy Paul. That one sucks. So
like this stuff is all season 3 and 4 stuff in my videos.
But remember when I complained that Mushoku Tensei was too short? You know, I've just got it in my mind that we're nearly done. So, you know, there's not a lot. So nothing else can happen. So your videos are fake.
I guess for comparison,
also,
we're up to the beginning of, or like the 1/3 into book 10, and there's 26 books. So
we are nearly done.
Plus, there's also like 2 extra novels for extended stuff that they probably will cover in the anime, I guess. But yeah,
I want an anime only ending. Now that would be sick.
That would be interesting, yeah.
Step into the grand tour, EliteAri. We're going places afterwards. Sequel series, etc.
True, there is a sequel series that is coming. That is true.
Oh, yeah, I've heard EliteAri say that sometimes. But how, when Rudius went back into the real world and the last 4 or 5 novels are about him becoming a successful young man, he didn't...
True, just like Steins Gate.
He didn't die.
How are we going to have a sequel to Steins Gate when it was a nice happy ending, you know? Oh my gosh.
Well, that was like an alternative reality, stupid.
True.
Now
Fuck,
I had something to say, but...
well, if you have anything else, go ahead, because I'm done. There's nothing else to talk about. Except for predictions, we've already made like a million predictions.
Get rid of you guys. Yeah, I already made all the correct predictions. We don't need to do that. Next episode, oh my god, what was it called? I remember it was a little bit of a soy title.
Do you want me to tell you?
Yes.
It's the next episode.
I already know it.
Are you sure? Am I going to say it and you're going to be like, oh, that was it?
Well, I knew it at some time. Well, I read the fucking thing that said next episode.
All right, well, the next episode is Afar.
Oh, that's soy. That don't tell me nothing.
Yep.
We got to leave and meet the family at some point, so we ain't staying in this house.
Wait, meet whose family?
Lilia and Lilia and Norn and
Oh,
Aisha.
yes,
Aisha?
okay. Yep.
My favorite character, Aisha. Not Isa. I hate Isa.
True, very true.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Kyle, we did it. We're at the end of this. Next episode.
How many hours was it? 2 hours? 2 hours?
I think it's an hour and 36 minutes or 35 minutes.
Yeah,
it's a shame. It's because there weren't 3 of us, because Jarkey Bacon, he was busy, and he probably will continue to be busy until like episode 5 or 6 or something of this season, I think.
We're all rejoicing.
Yep. And with that, anything else, Kyle?
What else are we doing, EliteAri? We've been doing Chainsaw Man.
True.
We've been
streaming.
Is that all? Oh, yes, we do streaming all the time where we watch great video essays. We love video essays together. Remember when we watched that really, really, really funny Mushoku Tensei one and I lost it?
Yes.
That was a classic all-time moment, and I think it's gone forever because I don't think I have the VOD for that.
Yep.
Oh, you might have the VOD. No, I probably delete. And
That's
it was before I did my great VOD channel. Yeah,
go check out the Kyle Ent VODs channel. If I remember, I'll link it in the description. I don't think I will.
Obviously, it's pronounced ENT.
Oh yeah, true. Kyle, secondary ENT. True. Yeah. But yeah, I guess.
Fuck. Now I have this empty feeling of forgetting to bring up a genius point, but I will not remember it under pressure.
It could be about anything. Could be about I
It
could
could be
literally be
about
about anything. It could be an anecdote from your personal life. I have no idea.
All my anecdotes played in greatly into this discussion, EliteAri. I will not have it said otherwise.
All right. Final thoughts. Final thoughts, and then I'm gonna end this, Kyle.
See, I gotta like adjust when I see the light not catching up my So otherwise, it's just not as funny and it just sounds like it cut off. And okay, get the fuck out of here, you idiots.
Right. See you later, guys. See you next week or two or something.
See you next Tuesday.